This week, Viewpoint Metrodome, home of the Minnesota Twins, whose winning ways catapulted them into second place behind the A's. Their opponents, the red-hot Yankees. All the signs were right.
Orsulak just turns and looks up and into the upper deck.
But you come to expect it from the Yankees. I mean, they come back every game.
The center fielder, Kirby Puckett. Base hit to right field. The Yankees come up with the win here at the bottom of the ninth inning with 2 outs. Twins win.
Oh, these Yankees are really something. They never give up.
Manager Tom Kelly's number happens to be 10. And it was also a magic number for his ball club as they shot for their 10th straight win.
This one looped out. Knobloch, Larkin. Knobloch with a fine running grab.
As for the Yankees, Jesse Barfield let go of this sensational throw from St. Paul.
Davis tags. Here comes the throw, and holy cow, what a throw!
The Yankees up 3-2, 8th inning. Ken Herbeck singles, the tying run scores, and the go-ahead run streaks on home.
Here comes Gladys. Barfield throw. Twins lead 4-3 on Herbeck's single.
Twins win. Next night, Pedro Munoz spearheads a 5-run first. Jeff Johnson delivers. There goes the ball. Going, it is gone. A grand slam homer for the rookie outfielder. Only the second homer of his career, and Minnesota wins its 11th straight. Pittsburgh, a rainout in the series opener between the Pirates and Dodgers. But the next night in the 3rd inning, Jay Bell batting smashes a triple that gave a 2-0 lead to the first-place Pirates over the Dodgers, who are front runners out west. Bill Landrum picked up his 11th save. And now the Pirates, last year's division winners, are ready to step up.
Everyone over here is still hungry. You know, we knew what it took to get there, but yet we didn't get the golden shoe. You know, we came up short. So it's like, well, heck, you know, we need to get to that next level.
Yeah, but they're on their way. Montreal's Dennis Martinez begins our salute to this week's top pitchers. After defeating Atlanta, Martinez's record for the last place Expos, 8-4. The wife and mom of Todd Stottlemyre and the Blue Jays pitcher made the whole family mighty glad with the win against the Baltimore Orioles, improving his record to 6-2. On that same day, Todd's father, Mel Stottlemyre, the Mets pitching coach, was in Houston, where Dave Cone held the Astros to 1 run on 3 hits. But Pete Harnisch did even better, a 3-hit shutout with 11 strikeouts. Mighty impressive, but in Longhorn country, this fella is still number 1. The Rangers ended an 8-game losing streak thanks to a 10-strikeout, 6-hit shutout by Nolan Ryan. And California's Brian Harvey, 15 painstaking saves.
He takes his time. I heard someone yell from the stand, "Hey, Harvey, you get paid by the hour?" You know, because he takes his time. He's very deliberate in his approach. But he's got a couple of pitches that you can know they're coming, but hitting them's another thing.
Finally, the first ever meeting of Mexico's Teddy Higuera and Fernando Valenzuela. Fernando was reached for 5 earned runs, and after an inning and 2/3, threw in the towel. Higuera pitched 6 shutout innings, striking out 10 and getting career strikeout number 1,000. Now to Warner Fussell for an update on the ticker.
Mel, Thursday, Doug DeCinso was presented with an award for his sweet defensive play. For the main course, Cubs-Giants, 9th inning, and a gourmet's delight served from right.
There's a high fly ball. Now watch the play at the plate. It's going to be close. Here's the throw. They got a chance. He's out! He's out! The game is over. Up to him. What a throw by Andre Dawson. The Cubs win.
Dodgers-Pirates, 9th inning. This pitch to Lenny Harris was initially ruled a foul tip, strike 3. But Harris was then awarded first base for being hit by the pitch. That led to manager Jim Leyland's ejection, and with Alfredo Griffin up,
swung on, hit to left field. Bonds comes in, knocks it down. Looking to wave around Harris. Bonds' throw goes to second base, and the Dodgers take a 3-2 lead.
That was the final. The Dodgers won both the argument and the game as the two first-place teams split the two-game series. Also on Thursday, Scott Erickson, the Major League's ERA leader, defeated the Yankees for his 10th consecutive win, giving the Twins their 12th victory in a row. 55,000 unidentified fans showed up in Cleveland the next night. Fifth inning, Shane Mack batting, the bases full.
Mack drives it deep to left field on the first pitch, a grand slam! And the Twins lead it 7-0.
Minnesota's 18th straight game with a homer and a club record 13 wins in a row. Also Friday, San Francisco. Willie McGee's hitting streak reaches 18 games with an 8th inning homer. The Giants beat the Pirates 3-2. Mel, back to you.
Time for this week's quiz, brought to you by today's Chevy truck. The Dodgers' Orel Hershiser recently won his 100th game, but he never threw a no-hitter. Now, what pitcher won the most games without a no-hitter? Quiz brought to you by today's Chevy truck. The pitcher with 373 wins, yet never pitched a no-hitter, Grover Cleveland Alexander. In 1915, he did throw 4 one-hitters. The very first number ever retired by the A's franchise belongs to Catfish Hunter.
Thank you very much. You know, the reason they retire my number, 27, that's how many home runs I usually gave up every year.
A Hall of Famer, a farmer, and a big league sense of humor. And in his playing days, Jim was among the greatest. Recounting some of Hunter's many great achievements is no problem, including his perfect game in 1968. But overall, his former teammates remember Catfish as a stand-up guy.
I think what I remember more about Jimmy, which really tells you what kind of a gentleman and a human being that he is when he pitched a perfect game, Charlie Finley gave him $5,000 as a reward. And Catfish says, if you don't give my catcher $2,000, I'm not going to accept the $5,000 check on national TV next Sunday on the mound.
1968, when we came out here, it wasn't this many people in the stands. But the ones that were here were great fans. We enjoyed it. The Oakland A's showed it by winning. And there's no one player could win it all by himself. Team effort.
Oh, yeah, my buddy, me and the Catfish, yeah.
He's got a ball. If you think you can throw it to him, I'm done. I was done before I started. Oh, Rolly, you can't pitch with that tape on your fingers now, Rolly. Don't come out here with a tape on your fingers. You remember Rudy when he first came up? Wouldn't nobody play catch with him? I got him yesterday. His kid was out there swimming with mine. He threw the key and it missed the swimming pool. I said, uh-oh, you throw just like your dad, huh? Rudy said, don't say that.
He was a cut-up. He'd give hot foots. He'd cut the toes out of socks, anything to keep guys loose. And everybody loved him. He's just a member of a great, big, happy family.
Oh, my. I ain't getting up there with Tommy Davis getting on this back seat. Let me get up here side of George. I want to look good. Hey, Greenie, give him a hymn.
The battle hymn of the battling A's. Reggie was a bit late, but the quips came quickly. Come on, guys, show us your pearly whites.
Tommy, that seat didn't go down when you stood on it. It's already down. Thanks to my wife and family that's here today. And you know, take something special for a wife to stay with a ball player. Because he's a little bit different. And you know, It's just great.
And so are you, Catfish, a ball player lots of folks did and still look up to. Speaking of role models, when Dad plays in the majors, it's only natural for a child to dream of following in his pop's footsteps. One youngster actually made that dream come true. Brian McRae, who became Kansas City center fielder. Royals manager Hal McRae, Brian's father, recalls a family day custom involving George Brett.
George would pitch the game, and at the end of the game, all the guys would run and jump on George's head, and that was kind of like a tradition. That is the way that the day ended, with the brawl on the mound and all the young players jumping on George's back.
Now, at age 23, Brian McRae shows flashes of stardom.
Loop to shallow center field. McRae was playing very deep and makes a sensational running catch. Drilled to center field, chasing Brian McRae back, way back, leaps and makes the catch. Did it, way back. Brian McRae belts his 4th home run of the year, and that'll make any father proud.
Well, how's it working out for Hal and Brian?
You basically try to do the same things with all the young players. Just be very patient. You try to teach a little bit. He's just another young player as far as I'm concerned, and that's the way you view things. And that's the kind of relationship we've had all along. We were never buddy-buddy.
When the game starts, you know, it's not any different. I don't think I'm doing anything different for my dad than I did when John Watson was here managing. You know, the fact is he's the manager and I'm the player, and I try to make it as simple as I can.
Well, here's a tough one for you guys. Now that Pop is manager, does Brian do anything special for Father's Day?
I don't see anything different about it. Maybe he can buy a better gift this time.
Power Stick presents Power to Plate. Oakland's Mark McGwire, in 5 days, 5 homers.
Here's a high drive by Mark McGwire. Hop a ride on it, baby. It is gone.
In a game against Detroit, McGwire drove in 5 runs and hit 2 homers. After going nearly 2 weeks without a round tripper, McGwire's bat is booming. Here we go, folks. Bloopers with the storyline, the setup.
Hey, Wimpy, with that laryngitis, first of all, how you feeling?
There's John Franco sitting in front of his buddy Frank Viola. I'm 6-3 with a 2.79 ERA, but I can't fly home with the rest of the team. Enjoy your pasta.
Does look a little like him at that, doesn't it? For Luis Polonia, who has done so many positive things for the Angels this season, this particular night has been a night of things he hasn't been able to do.
Heart complication.
But this afternoon, his opponent, a tough Mike Boddicker. He is 10-5 lifetime against the Sox.
Frank now covering up both ears. I guess he's tired of Franco talking to him. This might be the first game Franco's got a chance to get a word in edgewise. Here comes Polonia. He loses it in the lights. It's by him all the way to the fence.
Now a plot twist.
The Sox with Jeff Torborg, they're continuing to play good baseball. They have played good defense.
Now, Frank doesn't need that abuse, does he, from his close friend?
Well, he's not here to defend himself.
A liner, Polonia over. He dives, and it'll get by him.
The climax.
And we'll be back with the rest of the starting lineups, won't we, Wimpy?
That's it for Frank Viola for the night.
Oh, beheaded. Remember that. Here's Polonia coming in. He grabs that one off the bat of Gantner. And that's the most excitement of the night. And Luis tips his lid.
You gotta love him. He's got a smile on his face.
A story with a happy ending. Now for a tale that makes me say, how about that? The coach of the NBA champion Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson, was once a baseball prospect. In an exhibition game in 1963, Phil played against the Hall of Famer.
It's a traveling baseball troupe that Satchel had, and went through the states, and he played against local teams, and I happened to be on a local team that played against the Satchel Paige All-Stars. Well, I think they came through almost every year when I was a kid, but I got to pitch and to play against them, and I happened to tell the story one time, and it's gotten blown out of proportion, how I hit it off the wall on one bounce in center field and got a double, but I think he laid it up there pretty easy.
Phil, from my recall regarding his playing days, was kind of the Bill Cartwright of his era in terms of always hurting people. He's kind of an awkward player and would create havoc on the floor, but he would, because of the long arms and the wide shoulders, he seemed to hurt even teammates in practice. So I'm amazed that Satchel came out of that without getting hurt. Forget about the base hit.
And now, let's fast break for our top 5 defensive plays from this week in baseball.
Squeeze play, right out front. Darling flip, 10. Wow, what a play! I'll tell you what, you don't see that play.
No, sir.
What a play by Ron Darling. Woo!
Popped up left center field and could be trouble. Oh, what a play by Gary Thurman, who just came into the game, coming from nowhere to make that catch.
Very acrobatic.
Right field. What a play by Mike Copp. Another fine defensive play in a well-played ball game. Mike Copp just robbed Pat Tabler.
The shortstop, Spires, has the best shot. He dives and he makes an incredible catch. What a play by Bill Spires, the shortstop.
For a team that is so improved defensively, look at the effort here on the part of the shortstop.
Number 1.
Lazy fly, that might be trouble. Short right field, it's a sensational catch. Flauser with a sensational play. How in the world did he do that? That's as good a play as you'll see a second baseman make. He covered an acre of ground.
Let's cover some more ground with This Week in Baseball's Twib Notes from around the majors. Major League owners are expected to soon approve the recommended locations for 2 new expansion clubs. The home of Miami's franchise will be Joe Robbie Stadium. The other National League expansion team will play at Denver's Mile High Stadium in 1993 before moving into a new stadium. This April, we told you about Milt May's son, Scott, who snapped out of a coma after a near-fatal car wreck. Last week, good news. He was drafted by the Pirates. Time now for This Week in Baseball's 15th anniversary flashback, presented by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, for that deep-down body thirst. June 17th, 1978. New York's Ron Guidry overpowers the California Angels. Catcher Thurman Munson made a remark to keep Gator hungry.
When I got back to the dugout, I looked at Thurman, and he kind of looked at me, and I asked him, I said, how am I throwing? He said, I don't know how you're going to survive tonight. And all of a sudden, I heard him ask Monahan, our trainer. He said, go run in my locker. He said, I have an extra batting glove. He said, go get me one that has a thicker pad in it. And Gino said, why? And he said, look. And the glove that he had on his hand, it was starting to tear, you know. And then I looked at him, I said, I thought you, he said, don't say a word. He said, just do whatever you're doing, he said, because it's special.